Hello, my name is David Feiner and I'm reporting for Infowars.com. For this video, I'll be reporting on the European migrant crisis. First, I'm going to give a brief overview of how it started. The crisis started with the Syrian civil war between Assad and ISIS. Due to ISIS's control of other Middle Eastern countries, many Syrians and other groups of people fled their countries to go to safer places. Most of these people have sought refuge in countries such as Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, Iraq, and Turkey. The issue is that out of the 11 million, 1 million have decided to seek refuge in Europe, and I'll be getting into the issues with what that has created. To begin, most of the 11 million migrants came from Muslim-majority countries, which meant, of course, most of the entrants were Muslim. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, 46.7% of the migrants were Syrian, 20.9% were Afghan, and 9.4% were Iraqis. Moreover, 58% were males over the age of 18, 17% were females over 18, and the remaining 25% were under 18. So obviously, the news reporting that it's just women and children trying to escape war zones is propaganda or fake news. So the issue is that we have essentially millions and millions of Muslims from Muslim countries, and they're coming into Europe, and they both are very different. They look different. They both have different cultures, different beliefs, different religions. And to think that millions of people, and the number keeps increasing. Now it was just 1 million, but now it's continuing to increase over the years. More and more people are starting to see that they could take advantage of the West. They could take advantage of Europe. They can go to Sweden. They can get free housing. They can get free, free anything. They could just get a paycheck. Most of these people coming here too, there's a lot of economic migrants going to these countries now that see that they can go to these countries and take advantage of them. They can get all these free stuff that they wouldn't get in their own countries. And so they're coming there and they're not assimilating. That's the main part, is they're not assimilating. They're going there and they're not working, they're taking. And another issue too is that when they're there, I mean, these people are from warlike zones. They're from these very just far back nations where you if you want to go back in time, you don't go into a time machine. You just go to the Middle East, because a lot of these people, you just go back thousands of years. And so you go there and they're very much pushing Islam, they're pushing Sharia law, and they're in the minority at the moment, but the more they reproduce, essentially, they're going to have more and more power in these democratic states, especially since a lot of them are starting to run for positions. And you're starting to see it that in a lot of areas that there are essentially no-go zones now, because they are just basically, they're pro-Islam areas, and you have to behave in the way that they want you to behave, otherwise you'll be attacked. And so slowly but surely they're starting to take control over there, and not only do we have them trying to take over and push their religious agenda on the rest of the West, but now we have rapes. You have Cologne in Germany, where they had a New Year's Eve party, and 1,000 women reported, and it could have been more because this is just reported. Thousands of women reported being sexually assaulted. We have in Sweden, where they had a festival going on, a music festival, and they also had the same thing, that dozens of Swedish girls said they were sexually assaulted, and a few actually said that they were raped. It was so bad to where they actually decided to ban all men. So it's okay to ban an entire gender, but you can't ban anyone due to their race or ethnicity. That's a no-no, but you can ban them due to their gender. Okay, so I want to get into some of the stories here of what happened to some of the people ever since the migrant crisis happened. And so I want to get into the first story. There was a 18-year-old Italian girl who was actually dismembered by a Nigerian migrant, and she was actually dismembered and eaten. So I mean, these are the kinds of people that are coming to the country. They're from a whole different savage area. So you have to take that into account. You could sit here and say, oh, we want to save these people, we want to be good people, but you need to understand that you're opening up a zoo cage. Here's another one. Man who raped 10-year-old boy at swimming pool in Austria has sentence overturned by Supreme Court. So there was a man, and another migrant who probably came in saying he was probably like a little boy, and he came in and due to sexual frustration, poor him, he couldn't hold himself back and he decided to rape this 10-year-old boy. And not only that, but due to him essentially saying, oh, it's in my culture, oh, you know, I'm not used to this European place where everyone's, you know, dressed the way they are, he got out scot-free. And here's the last story I really want to get into, and probably the most recent. There was a dog in a refugee camp that was essentially almost raped to death by these refugees. I mean, a dog was almost raped to death. If that doesn't wake you up to the kinds of people that are coming into your country, I mean, why are there countries? Why is everyone in a war and they're killing each other, and you're hearing people about their heads getting chopped off and crazy things are going on, and then you think that you just, oh, we'll just let them in, maybe we'll give them free stuff, maybe it's just the dictators that are causing these areas to be torn up and be, you know, just be bad. It's no, the people make the area, you know, that is what is happening. It has nothing to do, I mean, look, there's bad people there. But as we've seen from all the wars, if you get rid of these bad people, really, really bad people take their place. And look, we just have to get real with the kinds of people that are coming over. You can be nice, but if for our own protection, we have to be smart. There's been a lot of stories. I can't get into all of them. I wish I could, but at the same time, I wish I didn't because of how disturbing a lot of the stories are. But I do want to honor a lot of the people that were sacrificed in the European migrant crisis. I'm gonna have a little page here scrolling through of all the stories of all the people. I'm gonna try to get to as many as possible. There's so many, but we're gonna show that. So from the stories that I showed you, and from the list, the very long list I showed you of things going on in Europe ever since the migrants came into their countries, there's a huge issue. There's a whole lot of problems. There's people's lives being destroyed. There's people being killed, raped, you know, having acid thrown in their faces. It's a very scary and crazy time. So that's what's happening. But I do want to show some of the good things that are coming about from that. So you're starting to see people, you're starting to see a lot of liberal areas turn more to the right, because now they're starting to understand what happens when you do mix in people from different cultures into other cultures. You know, they don't just get along as all the little liberals think. You know, it's not just some little fantasy land. So from the report I have here, there are a lot of right-wing groups that are starting to gain more traction in a lot of these areas. So for one, we have Viktor Orban, who is the Prime Minister of Hungary, and he refuses to take any migrants. We also have Germany's AfD party, which is a very right-wing party, and it wants to deport migrants. We have the latest from Italy's new coalition government, which is very right-wing, and its leader, Matteo Salvini. He's looking to deport 500,000 migrants and already is turning back migrant boats. And lastly, we have Greek Golden Dawn's party. It's very nationalistic and very right-wing. It's against the globalists and is the third largest party in Greece so far. And the last one is Poland's prime minister. They say that they will not accept any migrants, even though the European Union is threatening them with legal action. So there's a lot of bad things that have happened in the last few years due to millions of migrants coming into Europe, but we're starting to see that these governments, the people in them, they want to take their country back, and they want to get rid of these people that are trying to take over, that are trying to invade, they're trying to take advantage of the European kindness. So my name is David Feiner, and this is my report for Infowars.com.